everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, I'm very excited for our guests. We got one of the actors from Stranger Things Season 4, and he plays the role of Fred Benson, and I'm talking about Logan Brunker. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him about Stranger Things, about his acting life, and about some other fun stuff. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room, and my interview with Logan will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and welcome to my nightmare. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thanks so much for taking time out of your night and coming on the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me and having me.
Definitely, man, definitely. I'm really happy to talk about the show and about your acting.
I'm excited.
Okay. So like the first thing I wanted to ask you is like what drew you to want to act?
Well, my family was a part of it when I was super young. Both my mom and my dad were performers and directors and writers, and so they really had that love for it. But then they decided that I would get a normal childhood. They weren't going to kind of stage parent me into it. And then I was a part of a theater collective called, well, at the time it was Rosie's Broadway Kids. It was Rosie O'Donnell's company. But then it became Rosie's Theater Kids. They came to my school to do a musical theater workshop, and I fell in love with it. And I haven't stopped acting since.
Wow. Okay. Nice. So what was like your very first role, like for like film or TV?
I did a film called One Day in May. I played the characters listed as the Mystery Child. My dad directed it back in like 1999, 2000. I was very young, but both my parents were involved in it. My dad wanted to put me in this movie, and so my one line was "He's the one," and so I did my one line and I was hooked. And no, it was a blast. It was nice to be able to work with family and just with a bunch of people that I knew from like being a part of my life. And yeah, that was a really cool experience.
Oh wow, nice. Okay. And I also saw you did like a lot of shorts. Like I was looking at your page and saw you did like a lot of short films. Is there any short you had the most fun with, like the most fun doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. Of course, I worked with a really amazing director named Mattson Tomlin, who's now like just an absolute superstar. He was a part of a bunch of really incredible projects. He's doing some really amazing things, and he did his senior thesis was a film called Dream Lover, and so I got to be a part of that. I went up to the place that I would end up going to college when I was still in high school, and we filmed in their performing arts center, and I like fell in love with the campus, so I ended up doing that movie. And then I did this short with a director from Columbia called Total Freak, and that director's name was Andrew Elmaker, and he had us film a horror movie, but then I did like narration and voiceover for it. We played it like it was a comedy. So it ends up being this really cool dichotomy of like this really serious, intense narration that ends up being super funny when juxtaposed on this like horror atmosphere that we build. So those two are really, really fun for me.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
Yeah.
And two shows that I really like, I saw you were actually part of, like you were on set for them, is Orange is the New Black and Alex Strangelove. Like
yes.
How was it like being on set for both of those shows?
Well, Orange is the New Black was really my first kind of larger role on a TV show. I had done like kind of quick one-off things, but that was my first chance to really be a part of something. So that was incredible. I got to work with a great group of people, and the crew was really awesome and really inviting. So it was just an awesome experience to get to be a part of, and to get brought back for a second episode when we only thought we were going to be there for one is always a super rewarding time. And then Alex Strangelove was just goofy because I auditioned for that movie like 4 or 5 times in different parts. until they finally put me in as the one dude at party who gets to say the weird line. And I've kind of grown a habit of being weird guy at party, which is fun. But that one was a blast. I got to work with a bunch of people, some of who are like still my friends and who I still keep in contact with.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, that was a super fun time to get to be on that set.
Nice, nice. And I know, like, I seen online, like, you're a big fan of the hit TV show Stranger Things.
I am.
And like, I mean, everybody loves this show, me included. Like, you go out to places, that's all they ever talk about is the show.
Sure.
So as a fan of the show, not being on the show, but as a fan of the show, what character do you like most?
Oh gosh, that's so hard. I've always been a Dustin guy.
Nice.
I relate to that so much, to being the kind of semi outsider of a friend group. Like,
Yeah.
I also just love Gaten's acting. I think he's so talented. But then this season, of course, I fell in love with Eddie, like we all did.
Yes.
I mean, Eddie Munson is just like the
God.
greatest. And so really those two are my heart and soul. I love the two of them so much.
Nice. My favorite on the show is actually Will. Like,
Oh, nice.
I love Will. Will's like the nicest kid. And yeah, it's really, to me, like, he's the person I like the most on the show.
For sure. Will's great.
And when you were told that you were actually going to be part of this huge television show, how did you react to that? Like, I mean, you had to be jumping up and down for joy from being a fan of the TV.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got the email like 2 months after I had auditioned for it, so my phone was next to me on this couch actually, and I looked at it and I saw it and I like started screaming. My mom thought something was really wrong. She was like, "What's going on? What happened?" And I was screaming, "I got it! I booked Stranger Things. I'm gonna be on the show." And so I freaked out and I really celebrated because, of course, like, it's an incredible show. I've been a fan of it since season 1. So to get that opportunity to play a really, really cool character like Fred, it was a magical experience.
Nice. And like, how was it like playing Fred? Like, what did you like most about Fred?
I really enjoyed just like, I know it's going to sound cliche, but I enjoyed everything about it. I mean, the Duffers written such an incredible character and really gave me a lot to play with in the limited amount of time that I was there. And so it was a great experience to get to be a part of that world and to get to work with the people that I got to work with. I got to work with some incredible cast members, and Stranger Things was really a bright spot during what was a really dark point for a lot of people. So it really helped me get through those couple of years.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
And most of the scenes you share with on the show are with Natalia.
Yeah.
And so how was it like sharing scenes with her?
I mean, it was great. She's a really giving scene partner. She's super kind. She was one of the first people that I saw when I got on set that day. So it was really great to get to collaborate with her and to just get to do scenes. She's so talented that it makes my job really easy. It's a lot of reacting to what she gives me and writing that kind of process out. And yeah, I think we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun and we got to kind of form a friendship for the time that I was there. So I was lucky to be able to work with her.
Sweet. And how was working with the rest of the cast like, and being on the set?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I mean, all of them are as nice as everyone says they are. There's the talk that they're all really a big family, and they really are. It really is just like a community of people who are trying to create something really, really cool. I loved getting to meet them and get to know them just a little bit. And, I'm just excited to see kind of where they go, both with season 5 of Stranger Things and then just their futures. I think they're all going to be able to do really amazing things, and to be able to be a part of it now and then hopefully in the future, it's super exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And in in the show, like one of the most gruesome deaths is actually Fred's death.
Yeah, it
And,
is.
oh my god, like how the body contorts and the oh my god, the bones cracking.
Cracking. Yeah.
So like did that how did that come about? Like how did they actually film like that creepy death?
I mean, a lot of it's a mix of being practical and then CGI. It's they hooked me to wires and really kept everything safe. It was super great. And they lifted me up on the road and we filmed everything in the air. And then I got to go into the tent where they have the like 260 cameras around you and they take a picture of every angle of you so they can put it into a computer. And then they just twisted and contorted me online and what you see on the show is what ends up from that. But it was so cool to get to just see it kind of slowly come together as we were doing it and to know what they were going for, but then to finally see it when it all came together, it was just it was gruesome. And I hate to say like I love my death, but like I love my death. I think it's so cool.
I mean, when you're watching it, I mean, being on set is one thing, but now when you're binge watching a show like everyone else did when the show came out, and you see your character like on the screen, like just twisting and doing all that, like that must be like really awesome to watch.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's great because I got to do it with like my best friends and my mom. We were all like sitting around in the living room, just watching this intense scene. But it's just super cool because you love a show for so long, and then to all of a sudden see yourself on it and to get to be a part of that world in such a memorable way. It's something I'm really gonna hold on to.
Oh yeah, definitely. And with Fred being one of the first victims, like, did you actually think as a fan that anyone could beat this monster Vectnet?
I mean, as a Dungeons and Dragons fan, I know that it's possible, but I mean, Vecna was tough this season. He really, I think I think they've talked about it a lot. The idea of bringing in a villain that's human and a villain that can really explain its motivation to you is even scarier than a monster. Like the Demogorgon jumping on top of you and eating you is scary, but having a villain who can talk you through their strategies and why they're doing this to you is just like the epitome of fear. It's that idea, I think, that a lot of kind of monster movies have always gotten right over the years, which is monsters are scary, but humans are scarier, that we are the article of our own destruction. And so to kind of see that kind of character was really amazing. I was worried, certainly. I mean, I was like, it's Stranger Things. They have to win in the end, but you always end up with that question mark where you're like, maybe not this time.
Exactly. And what scene did you like best from this season? Like it could either be a scene you're in or a scene that you're not in.
Oh man. I mean, in terms of scenes I'm in, I had a great time with the basketball scene. It was really the time that I got to work with everybody. I got to collaborate with a lot of the people that I didn't get to see a lot because me and Natalia are doing so many scenes that I didn't get to work with a lot of the other people.
Yeah.
In terms of this season, I think I really love the juxtaposition of the basketball game with Hellfire and kind of getting to watch, like, this is what it feels like to be in that final battle of Dungeons and Dragons. I think the Duffers did an amazing job with that. And then the one take fight through the Byers house where they're doing that one take of just all that action and all that choreography. I know as someone who's like tried to do one takes, how hard that is. And so it was super impressive to get to watch that.
Oh, wow. Okay. And do you feel this season was like the most horror, like the darkest season?
For sure. I mean, they've said it themselves. It's going from the Goonies to Nightmare on Elm Street. You're stepping up the game. And I think we see that with Chrissy, me, and Patrick. There's that feeling of like, oh wow, okay, things are getting intense. I think they've done it so well. I think it's really easy to either over or under commit to that. And I think they hit the
Mhm.
pocket so well with just
Yeah.
making sure it was scary, but also not so far that some of the younger fans might not be able to watch it anymore. I think they did a good job of really towing that line while still making it a really intense, really dark season.
Oh yeah, like you're right about that. Definitely had that Elm Street Freddy Krueger vibe,
Yeah.
and you even had the actor that plays Freddy
Yes,
Krueger.
Robert Englund. Oh, what a
Yes,
legend.
you had Robert Englund in the season. Like Freddy Krueger is in the show. Well,
Yeah.
not Freddy Krueger, but the actor.
Absolutely.
So, but I think Dustin said something like Dustin said, "Oh, something about Freddy Krueger and A Nightmare on Elm Street." I think one of his lines in the season was something along the line with that.
Yeah, you might be right. It's been a minute since I finished the season, so I'll have to go back and rewatch.
And Running Up the Hill, is that song stuck in your head like it is to anyone who watched the whole season?
It definitely pops in and out from time to time. My friends will play it when they're around me just to make jokes about it. But I mean, Kate Bush is just great, so I don't mind it. It's a great song.
It's a very good song.
Yeah.
And are there any couples on the show that you like most, or anyone you would like to see become a couple?
I mean, I've always been a Jonathan and Nancy fan. I was rooting for that since season one. Steve kind of won me over this season, so I'm interested in that love triangle. And then I'm so thrilled about Robin and Vicky. I think that if that continues the way that I hope it will, I'm gonna be so happy to see that, because I just think that those two actors, just as performers, are great people. And I think that really committing to Robin being a lesbian is just such a great thing for the show. And
definitely.
It's such a great relationship that I'm really excited about it. And I wanna see where it goes.
I definitely want to see that. Like they're really cute. Like,
yes,
I mean,
oh my gosh.
Maya Hawke is amazing.
Oh, she's so talented, and she's so down to earth, and just like a really great human being that I'm happy to watch her in any scene that she's in.
Definitely, yes. And was there any funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happened while you were filming the show?
Cool for sure. Funny, not necessarily. I mean, there's of course funny moments. There's moments where we're all laughing together. But I think one of the coolest things was there was a night that I wrapped at the same time as Joe Keery. I have to say the last name now because there's two Joes. Joe Keery, Maya, and Amy Beth. And we had all wrapped out at the same time, but I had to get makeup off my face because of the prosthetic, the scar, and I had to get a couple other things done before I headed home. And so I expected them to go back to where they were staying, and then I would catch the next car out. And I went and did all the things that I needed to do, and I came out like 15 minutes later, and they were just all waiting by a van. And I said, wow, like I thought you guys would be gone by this point. I figured they would have sent you back. And they just said, no, we specifically asked if we could just stick around for the extra 15 minutes. We knew you wouldn't be that long. So we wanted to make sure that all of us were able to get home safe and together, and just like make sure that everybody was good. And I respected that. It meant a lot to me. And then on the way back, I just got to kind of hang out with them and continue to build that relationship. And so that was a super fun time. That's a memory that I hold truly dear to my heart, is that moment.
Oh wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I saw on your page, I don't know if you're still a fan. You're a big wrestling fan.
I am. I saw your Andre the Giant shirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes.
So now AEW, that's the league you like, right?
Yes.
Because that's the one. I mean, I was always a WWE guy, but when AEW came around, that became my top promotion, even though Vince McMahon is no longer the owner of WWE.
Hiring and Triple H stepping up. It's going to be
Triple H and Stephanie's doing it now, but my top league is AEW. I love that wrestling.
I'm the same way. Oh my gosh.
So who are some of the wrestlers that you're a fan of in
Oh
AEW?
goodness. The former Ruby Riot, Ruby Soho is one of my favorite in the world. I think Eddie Kingston is a legend.
Yes.
And if I got to meet him, I would tell him that. I think that Darby Allin is just a super impressive.
Yes.
He of course reminds me of Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy now being there is so cool. And then John Moxley is one of the greatest performers in the world.
Yes.
The list just goes on. And I think that's what I really like about AEW is that it doesn't feel, I think my hesitation a lot of times with WWE was that I knew the like top 3 guys, and those are the ones I was excited about, and everyone else it was like, okay, yeah, they're doing their thing. But with AEW, it's like consistently every match, every episode, every moment, I'm like, there's at least one person on the screen that I'm really into,
Exactly.
and really want to watch. I mean, like I'm even right now like Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson. Like I could list so many performers that I'm into, and that just makes me so happy to see them all be able to just take on their own creative freedom and really get to tell the stories that they want to tell, which is something that I've always really liked about wrestling. I've liked that it's some of the best fight choreography in the world, and that you can tell really intricate stories through choreography that is also like so real and so dangerous. But the fact that they're able to keep each other safe, I think they're incredible athletes, and I'm really into it.
I mean, I love all the ones you said, but my top 2 guys in AEW, I have to go old school, is Chris Jericho and Sting.
I mean, yeah, Jericho's amazing. The barbed wire death match he just did.
I can't believe he did that at like Jericho's older, and he's getting thrown in a bed of barbed wire. And did you see the video after Dynamite went off the air?
Oh, I didn't. It was so like it's just skin curling.
Yes, like they had to cut his flesh out of the barbed wire with the scissors. That was crazy.
It was insane. And Sting is just so cool. I mean, I know there are people that are like, oh, Sting always makes the people that he's working with look weak, but I think that's just such the joy of Sting, is just that like nothing can stop him, and he's gonna be jumping from the rafters until they won't let him anymore.
I mean, Sting, in my opinion, is like Taker. Like, did no one ever complain about anyone looking weak when the Undertaker was wrestling, and Undertaker would dominate the match?
Exactly.
So why are they saying that about Sting?
Yeah, I mean, the legend deserves his due. So I'm glad that he gets to do it in AEW. I think they're really pairing him with Darby Allin, I think was one of the smartest decisions they could have possibly made. And now seeing this whole House of Black versus the 2 of them, I'm so here for it. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. And now the rumor is that Paige might come over to AEW because they're saying she wants to wrestle Britt.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it. I've loved Paige when she was in WWE. I think one of the smartest decisions WWE's made over the last like 10 years was the night that they had Paige win her first night. I think what a way to introduce a character by just being like, and she's the champion now. But I think that because of the injury, she just got stalled, and that's really tough. And I think that if she gets cleared, then I'm super excited to see whatever she does wherever she goes, whether that's with Ruby or Chris Statlander or Britt or Tony Storm. I mean, there's so many people that she could be up against in AEW.
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks, Naomi. I mean, we'll see where they go.
I know, exactly. And now with like this Bray Wyatt's been teasing he's definitely coming back, but now which wrestling promotion is he coming back to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in whatever Bray does. I think his run with him and John Cena, where he did the Firefly Funhouse match, I think is one of my favorite matches that I've ever seen. Getting to watch someone who's so good at storytelling and so good at just the way that he went through John's entire career and picked it apart. Oh my
God, that was crazy.
It was so good. And so like, it was one of those times that I was like, they finally got it right. They let him do his thing. and then they immediately ruined it. And I was like, come on, you had it perfect. You just had to let him keep doing what he wanted to do.
I know.
Ugh. But
I know.
I'm excited to see where he goes. If that's Impact, if it's ROH, if it's AEW. I mean, even if it's NWA, I'm gonna be watching Bray, the Fiend Wyatt, wherever he ends up. I'm ready.
Definitely for sure. And I always ask guests this when I have them on the show, being on a season that had a lot of horror in it, what are some horror films you like to watch?
Ooh, I've been a huge fan of the Conjuring films. I love the Insidious series. I think James Wan is one of the best horror directors that has come about in recent years. I'm not going to say of all time because that gets thrown around a lot, and I'm not gonna throw those names into the ring. There's some incredible directors who I'm not gonna step to. I think Jordan Peele is brilliant. I think Get Out. I'm super excited to see Nope. I thought Us was great.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of other horror films that I've really loved recently. I've really been into horror TV. So like Mike Flanagan, Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, I thought was a fantastic show.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it does a really good job of creating a story that is a horror, but is really an analysis of something a lot deeper and a lot darker, which I super loved. But yeah, I'm a fan of a lot of horror, but it's difficult to pin down exactly. Oh, I have to mention this one because it's my favorite of all time, and I almost totally forgot it. Train to Busan.
Oh my God, yes.
So good. The first time I watched it, I like sobbed. I was bawling by the end of that movie, and it did such a good job of like reinventing my love of the zombie genre. I think Let Me In did the same thing with the vampire genre for me. But just there's so many good movies. The Babadook, I mean, just keep coming to my head. Horror is so good.
I know. That's my favorite. Like, I love anything horror TV, horror films. Horror and wrestling are my two favorite things.
Oh, I see why we get along.
Exactly. And what about music? Like, what's on your playlist? What kind of music do you like?
I like a variety of things. I try and keep it kind of varied. I get so involved in just so many different things. I really got into these two UK rappers named Pete and Baz. I think they're super great. They just started re-releasing music again, so I love them. But then also on the other side, I love like Casey Musgraves and John Mayer, and I love the Beatles. I was really into the Beatles documentary that came out over the pandemic. I thought that was fantastic. And then specifically for Stranger Things, I was really into Mumford & Sons. I mean, they're an incredible band, and they really create some really amazing music. And I was able to use some of that as prep for Fred. So I definitely love them, and I feel like I owe them a little bit for their help.
Sweet. Okay. And what about gaming? Are you a big video gamer?
Yes, I am. Of course, Dead by Daylight. I got the Stranger Things pack when it was still available, and
God, yes.
I've been playing as Steve and Nancy a lot in that. I've just been playing, speaking of horror, I've been playing Doki Doki Literature Club for the first time, which is this really intense psychological horror game that's disguised as a dating simulator.
Wow, really?
I bought it at GameStop because I had heard of it. And when I got to pay for it, the guy looked down at the game and then looked back up at me and was like, you know what this game is about, right? Like, I don't have to give you the heads up warning. And that's such a fun game. And then I'm a huge Apex Legends and League of Legends fan. I'm really into games that I can play with my friends that are competitive. And yeah, so I am an all-around gaming person. I don't have as much time as I would like to play video games, but I definitely love it. I've loved it since I was a kid.
Wow. Okay. Sweet. And you're also on TikTok. Like, do you follow any of the trends on TikTok, or do you just make your own stuff?
I try and make my own stuff. I mean, I was involved in the kind of Dungeons and Dragons TikTok community,
Oh,
which
that's
I want to
awesome.
get back into. I have so many characters that I really like sharing in terms of that. But a lot of what I've been able to do with TikTok is just connect to fans. I mean, it's a huge platform, and to just have the ability to really quickly reply to people and answer
Yeah.
questions has been super useful. And it just makes me feel like I'm able to connect with the fans of the show who are really excited about the people that I got to work with and the
Mhm.
experience of doing the show. I mean, getting to do interviews like this is super fun and a super great way to connect with them. Um, but when I'm not able to do interviews, it's nice to be able to just get directly to the people who are really into the show and see all the edits that they're creating and the content that they're putting together. Someone like created a book nook of Fred's gate. It was like this
Really?
completely constructed, yeah, like gate of the road and like Fred's body contorted, and I got to see that and react to it, and it was super cool. It's amazing to be able to connect with people like that.
Wow, that's so awesome. And like you were saying, if you're a fan of the game, Dun Dungeons and Dragons, like you'll definitely love the whole 4 seasons of Stranger Things, like because it they both go hand in hand with one another.
Sure.
And
Yeah, I mean,
Eddie with the Hellfire Claw. Oh my god.
yes.
Like yeah.
I think it does a great job of really showing Dungeons and Dragons in a super positive light, and I'm a huge fan of that. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's some of the coolest storytelling that you can do. I watch like actual plays of people playing Dungeons and
Mm,
Dragons, so to see a show really show it in such a positive light is really really exciting, and really I'm a huge fan.
sweet. And is there anything coming up next for you? Like anything you want to push or plug?
There is. I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, unfortunately, but
Oh,
I have some cool stuff coming up. I just filmed a little something last week that will hopefully be getting announced soon. I am working with a director on getting a script that I wrote produced, so we'll see what happens with
oh,
that. Hopefully that'll be coming out soon, and then just I'm working with my production company Black Wolves on just some new like web series and different stuff like that. So we're keeping the balls in the air and we're keeping things rolling. But yeah, I mean, if you want to figure out what's next, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and Black Wolves is on YouTube. You can keep up with us in all of those places.
and where could fans follow you at? Like with your pages?
I'm pretty much always at Logan Riley Bruner. But in terms of if you want to see me creatively, Black Wolves Productions is where I've put a lot of my stuff. We've got stuff from the past 5 years of just things that we've put together, shorts and web series and vlogs and interviews and just so much stuff that we've been able to really work on. So if you want to do a deep dive into my creativity, Black Wolves Productions. But if you're looking for my day to day, at Logan Riley Bruner, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I try and make myself as easy to find as possible.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out, coming on the show and doing it. It's so much fun talking to you. We definitely have to stay in touch and talk
Yeah,
AEW because Dynamite's coming up soon, and their big shows coming up in September. So we'll definitely keep in touch and talk about that.
for sure. Thank you for having me on. It's been super fun.
Definitely, buddy. Definitely. Um, have a great night and great rest of the week. And again, thank you for taking time out and doing this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to see it when it comes out, and
For sure.
have a good rest of the week and rest of the night.
Thank you, buddy. You too.
All right. Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Bye.